So as a precursor to, let me share my screen, sorry. As a precursor to styling, one of the
Yeah.
most important things for us to be able to understand is how we can put up the entire page together.
Yeah.
Um, I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah.
Excellent. So one of the things that we needed to achieve, well, I can stop this because I no longer need it.
Okay.
So I'll minimize all of these things. So maybe let me just create a new window. Well, I can just work it from here. Um, let me just, actually, let me just close this. I'll come to File Explorer. I'll come to my Drive C. Then I'll pick Web Design. Web Design shortcuts should be something. Is it arranged? Okay. Should be arranged by name. Then W should be Web Design shortcuts. Where did I put it? Should be here somewhere.
Yeah.
Web Design, Web Design. I thought it should have been here somewhere. Oh, okay. Let me just open a new window. Then I'll pick it from here.
Yeah.
Uh, Recent. Actually, they're here. So web design shortcodes is it's actually on my documents, not on C. So the general idea here is let me just create a new file and call it this new file. Here we'll call it notes uh, HTML, putting it together. This is going to be a text file, so we just want to see what how we put things together, right? So we have discussed
Yeah.
a lot of things. We have discussed elements.
Yeah.
We've discussed both uh, uh, opening, closing pair elements, opening, closing pair elements, and we've also discussed what we call empty elements.
Yeah.
Then we've discussed so many other elements like we have discussed paragraphs, we have discussed breaks, we have discussed horizontal rules, we have discussed headings, we have discussed spans, we have discussed divs, we have discussed things like heading or header rather, not heading. There's header, there's heading. We also discussed
Yeah.
footer. We said these things called aside. These are the semantics, right? And
Yeah.
we can go on and on and on and on. So that we have looked at, okay? Then we also
Yeah.
discussed forms and how we work with forms. So we said forms have two properties. One of them is the action, which means it's where it's sent, right? Then we said
Yeah.
there is the method that the data from the form is going to be sent over. And we said the default is get, but you can also use push, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not push, but get or post. Not
Post.
actually push is there, but
Mm.
there's push, there's delete, there is put, but the most important are these two, get and post. Okay. As we start
Yeah.
looking into other things like JavaScript, then this can come into play, but I think these two should just be enough. Then we also discussed form elements like the inputs of various types like text, like password, like number, like date, like color, like file, like range, you know, and so forth and so forth. So we discussed quite a bit of them, right? So also
Yeah.
we looked at things like lists, and we said there are two. We have ordered and unordered, right?
Yeah.
I'm just recapping this so that when you're putting it all together, you need to pick what is going to be appropriate for what particular section, right? We have also
Yeah.
talked about images and about images. We spoke about links. links like anchors and all that. What else do you talk about?
We talked about audio.
Yeah, multimedia. So we have audio, video, video,
Yeah.
YouTube integration. Any other thing we talked about?
Talked about the let me see. Talked about can oh shit. I
What?
already put it.
Which one?
I wanted to saying embedding of YouTube videos, but
Oh, we have it
then
here already. Mhm. So anyway, in
yeah,
HTML we have talked about so many things, right?
yeah,
So what happens is that sometimes all these things they don't work in isolation. It's good to know how they work out, but it's also good to know how we can be able to implement them. Okay. So
yeah,
what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give a case study, and the case study here is design a motor vehicle sale website. So the assignments are one, capture motor vehicle details. So when you're capturing motor vehicle details, this is where we start first of all, because for us to sell the vehicles, we have to have the stock, isn't it, of the inventory.
yeah,
So when you're capturing the details, you will consider one, registration number, you will consider brand, you will consider model, you will consider engine size, isn't it? You will consider fuel type, you will configure the steering, is it left or right, yeah?
yeah,
You will also consider, for example, what else do you consider? The is it two wheel or four wheel drive? Eh?
yeah,
So drivetrain, they call it drivetrain. Eh? So drivetrain can either be two, four, or full time. Sindio, it can either be two wheel drive, four wheel drive, or full time drive, full time four wheel
yeah,
drive. Eh?
yeah,
What else do we have? We have options like leather seats, isn't it?
yeah.
What other options do you have besides leather seat?
The color of the interior.
Yeah, color of the interior. Actually, color you should have mentioned. So exterior color. Actually, that's good. We have exterior color
Yeah,
and maybe interior color. Yeah,
yeah,
perfect. What other options do we have? Leather seats, multimedia.
yeah,
You know,
and
when you on a screen. Eh?
yeah,
We have navigation. We have power windows.
yeah,
We have keyless entry.
yeah,
We have keyless start. Isn't it?
yeah.
Anything else?
Parts used to make the interior like wood,
Oh,
plastic,
oh,
carbon
so yeah.
fiber.
So. Um, we can say trim. Eh? Let's just call it a
Yeah,
trim.
trim.
Interior trim. Eh?
Yeah,
So interior trim, somebody will say it is wooden interior, it has leather, it has okay, leather is on the seats mostly,
yeah,
but interior trim you'll specify like the kind of dashboard, is it wooden or just plastic? Do they have the imador kama this scented perfume that I see in very high end cars? Eh?
yeah,
So there's also an option of sunroof if it has one.
yeah,
I think there's also the option of heads up display HUD. India.
yeah.
Uh, what else is there?
Trunk capacity.
Yes, the strong capacity. And what I forgot to mention was
Yeah.
the type of vehicle. And the type here we're talking about sedan,
Yeah.
station wagon,
Yeah.
SUV.
Yeah.
Ile ingine kidogo tunaitwaje?
Uh,
We have,
Coupe.
we have MPVs. Hizi ndio
Coupe.
kabisa zinaitwaje? Kama Vitz. There's like
Mm,
a name they give them. Well, I don't know, but you get the idea, right?
yeah.
So we also have the price of the vehicle. Sindio?
Yeah.
Um, we have the market rate. There's what you're selling it at, then there's the market rate for that vehicle, isn't it? So, like for
Yeah.
example, if I wanted to buy a Vitz, I can be selling mine at 800,000, but the market rate is between 700 and 950, something of the sort,
950.
right?
Yeah.
So, whether you want to show somebody whether that's a good deal or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another thing could be what else could we consider? Um, Mileage is very important. Si ndio?
Yeah.
Imekimbia kilometers ngapi so far? We can
Yeah.
have the year of manufacture, very important also.
Mm-hmm.
What else can we put? Previous owner.
Uh, Previous owner.
Let's just say owners. How many people have owned it? Assuming
Yeah.
you're selling used cars.
Yeah.
Then we can have brief description. So we can have a description. Now, assuming I've given you this scenario, and I'm asking you to create for me a form that can capture these details. I want you to go through this one by one. What I'm trying to put together here is basically um, uh, what kind of elements are you going to use? That's what I want to see. Okay,
Yeah.
I want to see what kind of elements are you going to use for um, vehicle registration, for example.
Yeah.
The brand, the model, the engine size, the fuel type. It's either fuel type, by the way, is only three. Yeah,
Yeah.
there is petrol, diesel, and
Electric.
electric. But electric is further divided. We have fully electric, they are called
Yeah.
EVs.
And hybrids.
Then we have hybrids, right?
Yeah.
They are called and hybrid is also another problem because we have what we call PHEV,
Yeah.
plug-in hybrid electric vehicles. Then we have extended range electric vehicles, like Nissan Note e-Power, for example. It has
Yeah.
an engine, but the engine is not used to drive the vehicle. It is used to charge a battery, which drives the vehicle. It's
Ah.
called an extended range EV, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you can see now it becomes it as you are starting to get into this realm. Sometimes you have to be a little bit more specific on some certain elements, right? So
Yeah.
the steering is right hand or left hand. That's important. The drivetrain is either two wheel, four wheel, or full time four wheel drive. We have options like leather seats. We have exterior color is not an option. Interior color is not an option. Multimedia navigation, power windows. By the way, there is power seats is also and unique power seats is also an option. Power seats, eh?
Yeah.
So power seats, you can control the seats via power, right?
Yeah.
Then what else is there?
You can say the mm, number of speakers in the car.
Speakers, right? So
Yeah.
we can let's say audio system. So you can specify the audio system that is actually there in the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
And parking sensors.
Yeah, parking sensors are optional. Yeah, so we can go on and on. So in a nutshell, I want you to look at this and
Yeah.
maybe first of all you can draw it on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Then I can draw mine on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Then we can look at it and see what you came up with prior to designing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give you like 10 minutes. Design it on a piece
Yeah.
of paper. I will
Yeah.
also design mine on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Then we can come back and compare our notes.
Yeah.
You can rearrange the things. They don't have to be in a certain order. Of course, what's very, very important is first of all the registration number. That's usually
Okay.
that should actually come first. Before we start
Okay.
discussing anything else, this vehicle must be registered in Kenya, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is 5:30. Let's meet at 5:40. Then we can
Yeah.
review. I'll draw mine. I will take a photo. Then I will share it on the screen. You can also do the same. Draw yours.
Okay.
Take a photo. Then you can send it to yourself on WhatsApp. From WhatsApp, you can download. Then you can share the screen. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So 10 minutes. Or let me say
Okay.
15 minutes. 15 minutes tops.
Okay.
Okay. Good job. Good job. Chai. Hmm? Sasa ni maziwa. Washington Chanel. Victor, I think we can carry on. Victor, can you hear me?
Yeah,
You were successful?
yeah, I've already written it down.
Okay, can just take a photo? You can just take even just a random, just some photo. Send it to me via WhatsApp, then we can discuss it. Then
Oh,
I'll,
I said
then
WhatsApp.
yeah, just send it to me on WhatsApp because so that I can share it. Then I'll be able to give you my
Okay.
you've sent, eh? Oh, that's not yours. Oh, that's yours, eh?
Yeah,
Okay, let me just open it up. So, all right. So this is okay. This is okay. The what I expected, you've
yeah,
given me sample data, which is actually okay. But
yeah,
what I kind of like expected was you to do
yeah.
a draft that looks like this. You can see
Oh,
the screen.
yeah.
So this is kind of like what I expected us to have.
Yeah.
Because if I give you a case study,
Yeah.
this is first of all what I want you to come up with. This is kind of like what I want you to come up with.
Yeah.
This is called a sketch
Yeah.
or a low fidelity design.
Yeah.
So from the low fidelity design is where now
Yeah.
you translate to your. You can do a high fidelity design using a software like Figma or something of the
Yeah.
sort, but that's not
Yeah.
going to be the scope. That's not going to be our scope for now. So we're going
Yeah.
to skip the design part. So what you're going to do is basically just to take this and now convert it into working application. So this is very very important so that we're able to come back and say, well, this is how we're going to capture the data. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you see now the way I've done it, I am very clear on exactly what kind of data needs to be captured. Like I have
Yeah.
where I can put in text, I have drop down lists, I have
Yeah.
numbers, I have radio buttons, I have checkboxes, I have text area, I have file
Mm,
inputs, I have
mm.
range, you get.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I more like have everything in place. So
Yeah.
let me show you how we implement this. Now this is the design because if I give you
Yeah.
a problem, you first of all come up with this design. Then now you
Yeah.
develop, you now implement this particular design. Okay?
Yeah.
That's kind of like
Yeah.
how it works out. Eh? So I'll put these two things side by side.
Yeah.
So I'll come to my project here and I'll put them side by side so that now while I'm designing, I am able to see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'll simply
Yeah.
say here vehicle registration dot html. I no longer need the sidebar, so I'll just put Emmet here and I'll say vehicle registration like that. Okay,
Yeah.
and here first of all I can put heading 2, then I say vehicle details, isn't it? So after
Yeah.
vehicle details, then I have registration number. So we can put a label for registration number or reg number. You don't have to put it in full, yeah?
Yeah.
Just put reg number. Then you can put registration number. Okay? Then
Yeah.
now, this is going to be a text where somebody is going to type something. So I'm going to put here input is of type text. The ID is reg number, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then I'll simply give it name also, reg number. I can put a placeholder here. So we're just trying to put everything together.
Yeah.
E.g., that should be inside the bracket, e.g. KBL space 001X. So when somebody tries to register, I'm going to show them exactly how it's supposed to look like, right?
Mm.
So I've done the first field. So now I can put paragraph here so that now it separates the next input. Then I have the type of vehicle. So I'll have another again. By the way, I can copy this and paste it. I don't have to type in all over again. Eh?
Yeah.
So here I'll just have vehicle type. Then you'll have vehicle type. So for vehicle type, you can see we have a drop-down list because they're going to be defined. If somebody does not type, I want them to select from a list of whatever is available. Okay. So
Yeah.
because I want them to select only one, vehicle type can only be one from the available list of vehicles. So what I'll do here, I'll put here a select with an ID of vehicle type with the name of vehicle type. Okay. Then inside select, we said is where we add options. By default, I don't give you any option. I'm gonna tell you to choose one. Eh?
Yeah.
Then I can come here now. I give you the other options. Option. There's a sedan. Sedan. There's a saloon. There's a station wagon. There is SUV, no option, SUV. There is mm, CUV, compact utility vehicles are also there. We have pickups, isn't it?
Yeah.
We have the pickup, then tractor and lorry, yeah?
Yeah.
Then tractor or lorry, yeah?
Oh.
So you can see, so far, so good. So we have done the registration number, we have done the vehicle type. Then you can put a paragraph here, then go to the third field. It is the brand, isn't it? So
Yeah.
you simply say label again for brand, we have brand. Of course, here also brands I have to select from a list of what's existing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So brand will have option also, which says choose. Eh? Then we can now have option here, Toyota, Toyota. We have Nissan, we also have Subaru, we have Mercedes, Benz, we have BMW, then you have Audi, right? So we can put all of them
Yeah.
like that. So we have the brand name. Then after we pick a brand, we also need a model, right?
Yeah.
Now the model is going to be based on the brand. So for now, we're only going to have it as a plain field, not meaning so much. So just going to put all the models there. Um, okay. So label here for model. So I have model here. Then also model, of course, I'll have a select with an ID of model, with the name of model. We'll have an option where we say choose one, isn't it? Then option,
Mm.
let's just put an option for each. So Toyota has 110, which AE 110.
Yeah.
Nissan has Leafy, B14, whichever you want to put. We're just giving examples. Mercedes have W120 or C200. Then Audi has Q7.
Yeah.
Q7 label is Q7. 7, sorry. So then we have the engine capacity. So for engine capacity, what do we put?
Uh, the uh, say 200 cc.
Yeah,
I mean 2000.
it will always be in CCs, of course.
Yeah.
It will always be in CC. But what type of data is it? So I put it like that.
Yeah.
So how do we capture engine capacity?
In terms of
It's number. So you're going to put
yeah.
here input of type number with an ID of engine capacity. Now you can see how I'm trying to put it together.
Yeah.
So I don't expect you to type engine capacity. You type something that is not a number, like your name. I
Yeah.
expect to be a number 1300, 1500, 4600. There are also those that are 8000. Like if you're talking about a bus, there are also those that are 10,000 cc. You get.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to go to another paragraph. Steering. You can see steering here. I've used radio button because you can steering can either be just left or right.
Right.
But by default in Kenya it is left,
Left.
isn't it?
Mm.
The steering is on the right, but we
Right.
drive
We
on
do-
keep left.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
steering is on the right. Okay. So when I come
Yeah.
here, I'll simply say label steering. Then here I'll say steering type. So here, because there are only two options, I decide to use radio buttons. Okay. So I'll put here input of type radio with an ID of left. Let's start with right because that's the one in Kenya. So the name will be steering. Then I'll say value here. Value for this one is 1, which means it's the one that is selected by default.
Yeah.
So I'll put another input of type radio, but the ID is going to be left. But the name is still going to be steering. So here I can put label like I can add um, I can add another label here. I can put another paragraph here. Then I put another label just before this. Label for right. Then I put here right, right. Then I put another label here after right. This label is going to be for left, and I'll put here left. Let's see so far what it looks like. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'll just go live. So you can see I'm already starting to have something similar to what I'm looking for. Vehicle details. I have the registration number. I have the vehicle type. I can choose. I have the brand. I can choose. I have the model. I can choose. I have engine capacity. I cannot type letters, but I can type something like 1300 or 1500. These one are in cubic centimeters, centimeter cubes, or liters.
Yeah.
So the steering type is either left or right.
Right.
So it's behaving like that because I think we've not given them the same name. Yeah, I've not given them the same name. That's why it was behaving like that. So this one will be checked by default. So you can just come back here. You can see right is selected by default. So when I pick left, okay, it should have picked left and right should be able to be. Let me just check the names again. I think this name steering. Yeah, these things are not the same thing. I'm writing my own stuff. I think now that's okay. So you see when you make such mistakes, it will not be able to work properly, right?
Yeah.
So now you can see up to that point I am okay. Sindio?
Yes.
So we can go on and on. So now we can have the drivetrain here. So we'll put another paragraph here and we put a label here for drivetrain. Then we say drive train. So drivetrain will have also options. So I'll say via select, give it an idea of drivetrain. Then name also drivetrain. Then here I'll give options. Actually, drivetrain should be either manual or automatic.
Yeah.
So here I'll have option manual. Oh no, drivetrain is not manual or automatic. That is transmission.
Yeah.
Drivetrain is
Trans.
two-wheel drive. So I'll have two-wheel drive. Then I have four-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. Then I have four-wheel drive full time.
Yeah.
So four-wheel drive full time. So that are the options on the drivetrain. But before we even reach there, we can put another paragraph and say the transmission, right? So I'll put here a label for transmission. So this is transmission. So the good thing is that there are only two, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, there are more than two because there is manual, there is auto, there is CVT, there is the
Yeah.
other one is called which one?
Uh, the one is
I know there's a CVT, which is a different type of transmission. We have manual, we have automatic. Well, let's just use those three, yeah? So we put a select here and say it is going to be for transmission. We want to give the name transmission. Then, of course, we can go ahead and now say we want to put options here. The first option is to choose. So it's blank. So the user has to pick. So the other option is manual. The other option is automatic.
yeah.
Then the other option is
UT.
CVT.
Yeah.
And we can go on and on, right? So if you come back to our form, it's even taking shape nicely. So the drivetrain, you can pick either of this. The transmission, you can pick. Well, I didn't. The middle one, we didn't put automatic. We missed the word automatic. That's why sometimes it's good to test that you see it's
Yeah.
giving you what to expect. So we have manual, automatic, and CVT. So you can see so far we are doing great. Of course, I need to be able to provide all these details. So I'm going to put color, and I'm going to put color, and I'm going to put the exterior color. That is, I'm going to put the price and the price range and options. Then I will let you complete the rest. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll put here a paragraph. Then I'll ask you for a label, and I'll select you exterior color. Exterior color, right?
Yeah.
Exterior color. So what kind of an input do you use?
Uh,
It's color.
call. Yeah.
Then the ID is exterior color.
Yeah.
Then of course the name is also exterior color. So input is of type color. Let's just check if that works properly. Yeah, so you can pick the color from here. So if it's red,
Yeah.
if it is blue, if it is green, if it is orange, you can pick. So now you can be able to pick from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can see how it's taking shape.
Yeah.
So you put another paragraph. Let's say something like we need the price and the price range,
Yeah.
so that now we can be able to compare the two. So price, we can say um, label here for price. So this is going to be price. Then I also have an input. This is going to be a number because price is a number, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the ID is price. The name is also price. I tend to give them the name, the same ID and the same name, except for radio buttons.
Yeah.
So usually I tend to give them the same name and ID, except for radio buttons. The IDs for radio buttons will be different, but the names are going to be the same. If you want them to work together as a group. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that is going to be that. Then I can put now the price range. So I can put here a label for price range. Then I'll simply put price range for this vehicle. Then I'll put another paragraph because I now need to have the maximum and the minimum. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm going to put here label. This label is not going to point to anything. So I'll simply say minimum. Then I'm going to put my input, isn't it? Which is a range
Yeah.
input. Then I'll give it an ID of price range. Then I'll give it price range. Then I'll give it two other properties, which is minimum. You put the minimum value. So this is between 300 and maybe say 560,000. You can use 1,000, 560. This is minimum in thousands. Then you now also have maximum will be 750. Then you allowed another label, which is going to say maximum. Sorry, label is blank, but the text is maximum
Maximum.
in thousands, isn't it?
Yeah.
So let's see how it looks like. So now you can say I have minimum. Well, I should have put the value there. The value is there. Instead of saying minimum, I should have just said 560K, and this one maximum is actually 750K. So somebody will just pick between the two. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So then, of course, you can have these other things like I want to capture the images of the vehicle. So if I want to capture the images of the vehicle, I'll put a label here and I'll put images. Then I'll have an input of type file here, maybe image one. Name is image one. Then I can maybe say add five more images. So it is image one, image two, image three, image four, and image five. So maybe you're accepting five images for each image four, and finally image five. So you see, if I did that, when I come back to my form, now you can see it asks me to pick images. Images is image one, image two, image three, image four, and image five. So I can create a paragraph here so that it goes on a blank line. It will look much better that way. So images I have, I can choose file. Choose file one, two, three, four, five. So I can choose as up to five files when it comes to picking images. Okay.
Yeah.
So the other thing probably would be the vehicle options, right? So I can
Yeah.
have here, I can put another paragraph here. Then I'll say uh, maybe put another H2 and call them options. So options are going to be basically just checkboxes, right? You have to tick a box, right? So
Yeah.
does it have this or does it not have this kind of a thing? So again, I'll put something like how do we call it? Checkboxes. So here I'll put an input of type checkbox, right? Then I'll give it an ID. This is Power Windows. Then I'll put Power Windows as also the name. Then of course, usually we say they go together. There's a label here that is goes for with Power Windows because it's going to be a little bit smaller to click, right?
Yeah.
So when you put the label and we say Power Windows, it means that somebody can actually click on the label and they're able to, to click on this item. So let me just demonstrate that again. So if I come here and I say Power Windows here, you can see it is ticking and unticking the box. So I can also tick
Yeah.
and untick the box from here, but this is definitely going to be much, much easier.
Yeah.
I've put it in the wrong direction, so I can put it like that. So now I can replicate them.
Yeah.
Pick everything, copy and paste. Then this one for power windows, I'll press Control D, Control D. Then I'll say the other one is leather seats. That's how you create multiple cursors, Control D. Then I paste
Yeah.
again. So let me just make them separate so that you're able to see how they fall together. So I have the first option, the second option, I'm on the third option. The third option was it has satellite navigation. So I'll double click this, press Control D, then type satellite navigation like that. Then I'll place another cursor down here, paste. Then I'll also say that it has a heads up display. So heads up display. I need to change this one into satellite navigation. This one start with the leather seats. Then this one is satellite navigation. This other one is heads up display. Okay.
Yeah.
Then let's see if it has sunroof. So again, Control D, sunroof. So these are just options. So the vehicle might have or it might not.
How?
And we can go on and on. So again, if we come back to our user interface, you can see now I have options. It has power windows, it has leather seats, it has set navigation, it has heads up display. But there are options that I can be able to select.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Then if I click on these labels, it should just allow me to untick them like that. So you can see slowly by slowly our form is starting to take shape. This is exactly how we'll be able to capture this information. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
And we also have down here how you can describe the vehicle. So I can put a label here for vehicle description. So you might want to discuss the vehicle a little bit. Maybe it has full history. It has only had one owner. It has been serviced at a dealer. It has not run for so much mileage. All those kinds of things. So you might want to tell somebody those details, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that at least if they think that it's something that is worth their time. Or maybe you can you can describe where you are located, where you can be found, and stuff like that. Cynthia.
Okay. Yes.
So here we'll use a text area because an input will only be give us one line, but you want multiple lines, isn't it?
Yeah.
So give
Yes.
a text area, we call it vehicle description, like that. Then you also say vehicle description.
Description.
But because you might want it to be long, we can give it rows. And probably maybe you can give it something like 10 rows. Well, yeah, 10 is good enough. So 10 rows, it means that it's going to be big enough for us to be able to type quite a bit of text. As you can see down here, it's quite big. So what I would have done is maybe just to create maybe a paragraph here. We're going to use CSS to format, so don't worry so much about this. So maybe you can give it rows and give it maybe say 50 rows, 50 rows like that. So let's just see what it looks like. Well, rows, did we give it 50 or columns? We have to give it columns of 50. So you can see now it has 50 columns. Now we can type all our shenanigans inside here. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Then I think now the only thing we need to do is to put a button that says save or clear,
Uh, Save or clear.
isn't it? So you can either save or clear.
Clear.
So we'll put here now two buttons. I didn't put them on my sketch. So you can put input here of type submit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Give it an ID of submit. We also give it a value of save vehicle. That's the value that's going to be written on it. Then you also have another input of type reset.
Set.
Then we give that an ID of reset.
That
The value will be clear fields.
vehicle.
Clear fields. So make all the fields empty. We
Yeah.
misspelled its vehicle like that. So I think so far so good. The only thing you didn't put here is probably year of manufacture and mileage, which you can put. We can come here and put year of manufacture. So we can put here um, label for YOM is year of manufacture. When was the vehicle manufactured, right?
Yeah.
Then here you can also put a select because we just wanted them select from the years that are supported in Kenya. Then of course you can give options. We'll have to choose one. Then maybe you can put some options. Maybe we can start with the most recent, which is 2025.
Yeah.
Then you can go backwards 2024, 2023, and you can go back and back up to however many years we're supporting, right?
Yeah.
Let's assume we're only doing 7 years that are being supported. That is 23, 23, 22, 22, 22, 21, 21, 19, 19.
20.
Oh, we need
Mm.
20, yeah, 20, 20, 20. So that's still less because we're going right now. We're going up to 2018, eh?
Yeah.
So we can say 19, 19. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do this with JavaScript. You can't do this
Yeah.
by hand, eh?
Yeah.
I'm only doing it for convenience right now, but in practice we don't do this kind of a thing, eh?
Yeah.
Because I don't know which year we are in, and maybe I want from the current year go backward 7 years or 8 years. So to next year, this should automatically adjust itself. In 2027, it's also supposed to adjust itself and so forth and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is label. Then the other one was mileage. So I'll put here a paragraph, and I'll say also label rather for mileage. Mileage is going to be a number. So I'll have an input type here of type number with an ID of mileage. The name is also mileage. Then now I can, yeah, because H2 is block level element. It will create a new row on its own. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
see how it looks like. So this is how our form looks like. We have vehicle details which you can fill in. We have the registration number which you can type. The vehicle type you can only pick. The brand you can only pick. The model you can only pick. The engine capacity can only be numbers. The steering type can either be left or right rather. That's what we have in all the words. Hakuna yenye iko both. Then we have the drivetrain. It can be either two-wheel, four-wheel, or four-wheel, full-time four-wheel drive. The transmission can either be manual, automatic, or CVT. We can pick the exterior color from here. We can put the price, which is a number here, and we can pick the price range from where it falls to. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. So that kind of thing. Then of course we can upload images for the vehicle. Again, this one will allow us to profile the image. So the only thing we need to put is maybe apply some styles here where we'll tell it file and you can tell it what to accept. So what you're accepting was star dot. When you want to accept images only, so again, I don't have that code in my head. So
Yeah.
HTML accept HTML file accept only images. So this is not cheating per se. I don't remember. I don't I don't consider this cheating because I don't need to keep all these things in my head. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you have an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can look up one or two things. You must not have all of them in your head. So if for all of them you're only accepting images, so we are also going to do that so that we only allow the user to be able to accept only images.
Yeah.
So then they can't pick a PDF file there of some sort. So when I come back here and I say sorry, and I come here and we say we want to select images. When I click on this, you'll see automatically it will only filter for me images. That anything that is not an image here will not be selected. So only all these are just image file types. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
you have manufacturer again. We said you can pick from number here. Mileage you can only type numbers, how many kilometers the vehicle has run. Of course, we might want to be able to validate so that it's not more than a million. If it has these other options, you can also specify that. And if it has also some description, you can put the description. So you can see this is exactly how we come up together with a HTML form. Now, this is how it looks like. Now, the other thing is to style it, to make it look good, to make it look presentable, to give it vibrant colors and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
So this is ideally what I would have expected you to have achieved. So with this one, I wanted to be able to understand that this is exactly what we put together when we ask. Now I can put a little things like descriptions here and there. Maybe I can explain a few things with placeholders. I've technically omitted some placeholders in different places here. So you can go ahead and put placeholders and so forth and so forth. So if somebody is actually accessing um, this particular document, they are able to understand what is going on. They're able to fill in details very, very comfortably on their own.
Yeah.
So you can see it's quite a bit of work. You first of all need to design it on paper. After you design it
Yes.
on paper, you decide what kind of data you're going to capture. Then, based on the
Yes.
data that you're going to capture, now we can use the correct input or elements that we have as far as our HTML format and HTML elements are concerned. We could have
Yes.
given list, for example. We can say maybe documents required for upload. So maybe you require to additional documents required for upload. We'll also specify that. So actually, let's go that. So let's just put documents required when you're loading. So I can put a paragraph here, and before I conclude this
Yes.
one, I can put a paragraph here. Then I can
Yes.
put, and this paragraph could have an H2. Ensure you have the following original documents. So documents that they need to have with them are things like so we can create an Android list. Then we can create list items, isn't it? So we can say
Yeah.
logbook, isn't it?
Yeah.
Inspection report. So that's another list item. So the vehicle must have undergone through inspection. So we know it is not stolen.
Yeah.
We can also have what?
Uh,
Sales agreement. Sales
Subject.
agreement. So you must have drafted self agreement, isn't it? Sales
Yeah.
agreement. What else do you need?
You need can you say receipt?
We'll give the receipt, but
Yeah.
sometimes they pay at the bank, so you may not give the receipt. But let's assume at least for these three, they are necessary. So if we come
Yeah.
back to our page, you can see now here I have listed what you need to have. So it's not only input, there is both input and there is what you want to display to the end user, right?
Yeah.
So when we are designing our page, we want to put all these things in sync. We want to capture images. We want to output paragraphs. We want to output lists. We want to output links. Maybe I can ask you to confirm the vehicle registration with the KRA, for example. So I'll give you a link for confirming the motor vehicle details with KRA, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
all those kind of things. So you get my idea in terms of when you are creating your project or your page, you can be as robust as possible. There are tools that help you to be able to put in all these things together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I will do is I will allow you to go through this all over again. Actually, I'm going to share with you this source code so that now
Yeah.
you can be able to just paste it inside your end and just try to understand it and try to recreate your own just to make sure that you understand exactly how everything is falling together.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
You
Thank
can
you.
see sometimes you might assume that it's very easy, but once you start doing it, you realize that, okay, I think there's something I missed up here.
Yes.
How is this
Yeah.
going to be achieved?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes.
And by the way, that's kind of how it works. Eh? Sometimes
Yeah.
we assume that some things are going to be easy, but then they end up to be, an oversight on our end, which it might not be very, very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So yes, I'm going to make this source code available. I think we still have about 15 or so minutes remaining. You can look into that. I wanted to start CSS today, but I felt like I needed to be sure that you have understood how HTML works because with CSS now we're going to be targeting the elements that we have on the page, and
Yeah.
you can't target the element if you don't know how they work.
Yeah.
You get it, eh?
Yes.
So just by saying that I know that this is an input, and actually formatting an input are two completely different things. I
Yes.
need to know what an input is in and out. I need to know this is a select button. What are the properties, and other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which element are we using to select? Maybe say checkboxes, right? I need to
Yes.
know exactly how they are formed. Then I can now know how they are selected.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
sounds like a plan.
Yes.
So you can do this. Then maybe you can also try and do something with a registration form. Assume you're doing a college registration form. What kind of data would you want to capture from a user? You can just use your imagination for that kind of a scenario. Okay,
Okay. I'll
think
write it down and then I'll try to look at it.
no problem at all. I think that would be nice so that
Yeah.
when you're starting with CSS, you're not struggling with HTML.
Okay.
So Sawa,
Yes.
that's good.
Thank you very much.
So not a problem. So maybe let me share this code with you. Then if you
Yeah.
get stuck, just reach out to me on WhatsApp. I'll be able to
Yeah.
assist you where necessary.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Sorry for the
Yeah.
delay again. It's just that some of these things are unavoidable sometimes in my case. When you come to
Yeah.
the college, you'll understand.
Yeah. It's fine. It's
Sometimes
fine.
it's very chaotic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but nonetheless, I think we will try our level best to give you the value that you deserve.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so sour.
Yeah.
All right. Enjoy your evening. I'll share this source code with you on WhatsApp.
Yeah. Okay.